It was a rainy Thursday evening when Mark sat alone in his small apartment, staring at his phone with a mix of dread and hope. He had finally agreed to go on a blind date, a step he never thought he'd take. After losing his wife, Lisa, 3 years ago, dating felt impossible. His life had become a careful routine of work, taking care of his 8-year-old daughter, Emma, and quietly surviving day by day. The thought of opening his heart again was terrifying. Yet, here he was, telling himself, maybe it's time to try. He arrived at the cafe, nervously pushing open the door, and that's when he saw her. She was sitting alone, smiling as if she knew the world was about to feel brighter. And then it hit him, her face. It was uncanny. She looked exactly like Lisa. Same warm brown eyes, same gentle smile. For a moment, Mark froze, unsure if he had stepped into some strange dream. Could it really be? Of course, he knew it wasn't possible. Still, the resemblance was so striking it made his chest tighten. Before we dive deeper into this story, take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment below. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss a story from Truthlines USA. Your support helps us share more inspiring stories every week. Mark's first instinct was to step back, to excuse himself and run out of the cafe. But then, he noticed something in her eyes, a flicker of kindness that reminded him of Lisa, yes, but also felt entirely her own. Gathering his courage, he walked over and introduced himself. "Hi, I'm Mark," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I guess, we're supposed to be on a date." She laughed softly, the kind of laugh that could fill a room with warmth. "Yes, I'm Claire. Nice to meet you." Her handshake was gentle, her smile reassuring. They settled into a corner booth, awkward small talk slowly unfolding into genuine conversation. Mark found himself talking about his work, Emma, the small joys and struggles of everyday life. Claire listened intently, nodding and offering thoughtful responses. It was easy to talk to her, as if the universe had quietly guided him to this moment. As the evening went on, Mark couldn't shake the resemblance to Lisa. It was more than just physical, there was a kindness, a softness, in the way Claire looked at him that mirrored the love he had lost. At first, it unnerved him, even made him question if he was being fair. He didn't want to fall for someone simply because she reminded him of someone else. But as the night progressed, he realized he wasn't being pulled by the past, he was drawn to Claire herself. When they stepped outside into the drizzle, Claire noticed Mark shivering and offered him her scarf. "Here, you look like you could use this," she said, wrapping it gently around his neck. That small act of thoughtfulness struck him deeply. Mark had spent so long navigating life with grief that he had forgotten the comfort of simple, kind gestures. For the first time in years, he felt lighter, as if a small crack had opened in the wall he had built around his heart. Over the next few weeks, Mark and Claire saw each other often. Coffee dates turned into walks in the park, which turned into dinners at small local restaurants. Emma adored Claire immediately. The way Claire interacted with Emma reminded Mark of the way Lisa had always connected with their daughter, patiently, warmly, and with an authenticity that felt rare. Yet Mark remained cautious. He didn't want to rush, didn't want to mistake kindness for something it wasn't. One afternoon, while Emma was at school, Mark and Claire took a long walk through the city. The sun was setting, painting the streets in gold. Claire stopped suddenly and said, "You know, I've always believed that kindness comes back to you in ways you don't expect. It's like planting seeds, you never know which ones will bloom." Mark smiled. That's exactly how Lisa lived her life. She was endlessly kind, and somehow, even now, it still shapes who I am. Claire reached out and touched his hand. "I think that's why we met. Not because I look like her, but because I understand, even a little, what she left behind. And maybe, together, we can keep planting those seeds of kindness." It was in that moment that Mark realized something profound. Life didn't require him to replace Lisa, nor did he have to erase his grief. Instead, he could honor the love he had lost by opening his heart again, by embracing new connections built on genuine care, empathy, and kindness. Claire wasn't Lisa, she was her own person, with her own spirit, and yet she had the same gift of compassion that had once lit up his world. The turning point came one rainy Saturday when Emma came home from school with a scraped knee. Mark rushed to her side, worried, and Claire was there too, kneeling beside them, gently cleaning the scrape, soothing Emma with calm words. Mark watched them together, a wave of gratitude washing over him. He realized that kindness wasn't just about big gestures, it was in these quiet, tender moments where love truly shows itself. Mark started noticing kindness everywhere. Claire volunteering at the local shelter, a neighbor helping an elderly man carry groceries, Emma sharing her lunch with a friend who had forgotten theirs. Each small act felt interconnected, like threads weaving a tapestry of hope around him. He began to see that kindness was contagious. It created ripples that extended far beyond what any single person could imagine. Months passed, and Mark's relationship with Claire blossomed. There were moments of laughter, of playful teasing, and quiet evenings where they simply sat together, sharing their thoughts and dreams. Emma thrived in the warmth of a new friendship that felt like family. Mark found himself not just surviving, but living, and all because of the unexpected power of kindness. Then, one evening, as the three of them sat by the fireplace, Claire turned to Mark. "Do you ever think about how strange life is? How sometimes, the universe gives you a second chance in the most unexpected way?" Mark nodded, smiling. "I do. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that kindness led me to you and Emma. It's given me a way to heal without forgetting, to love again without replacing. I think Lisa would have wanted me to find this." Claire reached for his hand. "She would. And I promise, I'll do my best to be someone who adds to your life, not fills a hole. That's the real beauty of kindness, it's giving, not taking." Mark realized that day that kindness wasn't just a moral principle or a polite gesture, it was transformative. It had the power to heal wounds, to build bridges between hearts, and to create new beginnings even after loss. He thought back to that first night at the cafe, how terrified he had been, and how a simple smile, a warm glance, and a scarf had opened the door to a future he never thought possible. The story doesn't end with perfect bliss. There are still days when Mark misses Lisa, when grief surfaces in unexpected ways. But now, he faces those moments with support, love, and understanding. He has learned that kindness is not just about helping others, it's about giving yourself permission to be cared for, to accept love, and to recognize the goodness in people even when it surprises you. Mark often tells Emma about the importance of kindness. "It's the little things," he says, "that make a big difference. A smile, a helping hand, a kind word. You never know who you might touch." And Emma, with her wide eyes and curious heart, takes it to heart, showing her own small but meaningful acts of care every day. Claire, too, has grown through their journey together. She sees how her small gestures have rippled outward, changing lives in ways she hadn't anticipated. She has learned that kindness is not just a reflection of who we were taught to be, but a conscious choice we make every day, even when life is hard. In the end, the blind date that Mark once feared as a disaster became the beginning of something extraordinary. It wasn't a perfect love story without grief, it was a story of resilience, healing, and the remarkable power of human kindness. A smile, a warm gesture, a heart willing to give without expecting, these were the threads that wove together a new chapter in Mark and Emma's lives, a chapter filled with hope, love, and light. So, whenever you feel small, unseen, or overwhelmed by the challenges life throws at you, remember Mark's story. Remember that kindness, both given and received, can open doors you never imagined. A simple act, a small word, a compassionate gesture can transform lives, including your own. Life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. And sometimes, the universe brings people into our lives not to replace what we've lost, but to remind us of the enduring power of love, empathy, and kindness. Mark now smiles more, laughs more, and lives more fully. He has learned that it's okay to grieve, it's okay to miss the past, but it's also okay to embrace the present and the future with an open heart. And that, more than anything else, is the gift of kindness. It has the power to heal, to connect, and to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. So go out into the world today and plant your seeds of kindness. Hold the door open, offer a smile, check in on a friend, or simply listen. You never know which small gesture might change someone's life, or yours. Just like it changed Mark's. And in the process, you'll discover that kindness is not just a gift you give, it's a gift that returns, again and again, in ways more beautiful than you could ever imagine.